Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read through for Kubera Season 2, episodes 67, 68, 69, and 70. I'm very excited, as I always am, to read. Why do I start every video like this at this point? But yeah, I am excited, as much as I say it every week, to read Kubera. It is one of the best things, one of the funnest things that I read for the channel. I always really enjoy it, and we're doing the last 4 parts. We're finishing off Frozen Tears. The next section is, I believe, 10 episodes long, so I'll split that into 5 and 5 for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, you know, I guess we'll see how things go after that. I'll just generally try to, if they're like, 7 to 10 long, I'll try to split them in half. I think some of them are only 6 long, so I don't know if I'll just try to do all 6 at once or if I'll split them into 3 and 3. Honestly, splitting them into 3 and 3, even though that's kind of a shorter video, is probably better for my personal pacing of things. It's probably better, and if we do hit those, we'll probably hit them around like Christmas-ish, where I don't know if I'll have less time to make videos because of like, holiday travel and stuff anyway. So only doing 3 chapters means that I won't have to take a week off or anything if it is like on those holiday weeks. So that'll probably be good. But again, we're getting way ahead of time. I'm excited to continue this arc. It's been nice watching, especially on Mondays, so I watch Pyro Prima's reactions to Kubera stuff before coming and recording my own, so it's like really fresh in my head and everything. And like all of these things that I didn't pick up on or didn't see the connections to, because of course it was my first time reading, that now later on I can look back and say, wow, that character or that concept or that was hinted at way back then. And like there's so many things that I can pick up through rereading and watching somebody else reread that is crazy cool, that I feel like even more than just reading on my own but watching somebody else read, it's like so many things that I didn't catch on my first time reading, and now going back through, it's like, oh wow, that's really, really cool that it was set up so far ahead of time. Like for example, this week there was a mention all the way back in The Past That I Yearn For. There's a mention of Heidi getting a letter from her brother, and now in season 2 we've been introduced to Claude, and it's like, wow, we saw like Claude was hinted at all the way back there like that. All of that was really, really, really cool. So either way, intro aside, let's start actually reading, and as usual I'll do the afterword after each chapter. He evaporated all that water in an instant. We have Uriagara. He is indeed the strongest god of the fire attribute. Even in his summoned state, he's still powerful. Also, thank you. I want to say big thank you to everyone who always comments things when I ask a question. Like, not a rhetorical question that I don't actually want an answer to, or else it'd be spoilery, but when it's things that I've already kind of been told, but I'm kind of like loose on the application of how it actually works, or loose on the concept. Like when I asked, I think it might have even been the week before last, and I'm kind of repeating myself, when I was like, wait, why are there multiple Gnostica per tribe? And then people were like, there are multiple Gnostica per tribe, the king is just the strongest one. And it's like, oh, okay, that explains it. So, thank you to everybody who comments amazing things, even if I don't like have anything to add to a lot of your comments. A lot of them are just like, oh, that's a really good comment. All I can really do is leave a thumbs up and a heart. But I wanted to express gratitude for everybody's comments and everybody being here. He's indeed the strongest god of the fire attribute. Even in a summoned state, he's still powerful. Good. And I'm assuming that the strongest god, we mentioned before that I think the 5th Sen gods are only 12. So either it's the current 12 of the days, or I guess, I guess this is another question. Is it possible that there are 5th Sen gods outside of the ones that still have contact with humans? Like, are there ones that the humans just never even knew about that are 5th Sen, or not? Because why even introduce that as a concept? That would kind of like, it, to a certain degree, maybe that's too much for a series. And Kurikam's like, yeah, we don't need to introduce things that we're never going to dive into anyway. So the 12, or at least the original 12, because 2 of them have been replaced since then. Yeah, two of them, I don't think they've died. I think, well, again, if they did die, they could just come back to life. But they have been replaced in the ones that humans name the months after and borrow the powers of. So I don't know if it's just the original 12 that are 5th Zen gods, or if it's the 12 plus the two new ones, or if the two new ones are also like lower Zen, like they're 4th or whatever. And then we've heard before, like they've mentioned like multiple gods of fire. So Agni is the 5th Zen god of fire, the one that the humans know about, the one that is like primordial. He is fire itself, basically, power of the name and all that. And there are lesser fire gods. They just don't hold that same position. Humans don't borrow their power or whatever. Gandharva could have been able to prevent the water from evaporating if he were in his normal state. It seems like he has some problems due to taking the Shura form, which is forbidden here. I'm sure it's damaged him permanently in some way. Does that mean we don't need to be cautious of Gandharva anymore? Correct. Even his unique transcendental skills are sealed by Taraka, so we have a light shining up. It looks like another transcendental. Frozen Tears Part 10. He can still use that. I thought Taraka sealed it. Was it never sealed? Am I mistaken? But if he had that skill, why'd he pretend to be so weak all along? It's a unique transcendental skill of Gandharva? Or is that a unique transcendental skill of Gandharva? If it's still that destructive even in his current state. Yes, it's called Frozen Tears. We have gotten so many different things that Frozen Tears can connect to this arc. Like, we've gotten so many. And Gandharva can only use it when he's crying. Like, we literally got to the point where this is a literal name for it. It's much weaker than it was when he was the strongest, but we still need to be careful of it. Once you get hit along with considerable physical damage, it alters your mind so that you can't fight anymore. Alters your mind? Will that kind of attack work on God Agni as well? No, a mind-altering transcendental skill would never work on a 5th Zen god. What's more, the current state of Agni wouldn't be damaged even a bit. Then why would Gandharva use that transcendental skill now? It indicates he's not mentally stable at the moment. Or maybe he's back to his soberness, yet he doesn't wish to live anymore. Hey Sagara, I've got a question. And we see Kubera. What now? I heard you released the half that I caught. And we see Par. What if the half goes and tells everything to the humans? That is interesting, because the humans don't really know that there are all of these. I mean, they kind of know a little bit because of Atera, but the extent of all of these high-ranking Shura going around. But if, like, this was a purposeful release of Par, it just makes me think, okay, then Sagara probably has a play. This is probably something big brain. What possibly can that half go and do now? Either big brain or something that I mentioned with Sagara's group before, or they're terribly, as powerful as they are, they're also underestimating the potential of the humans and just are like, screw it doesn't matter. That's... The reason I ordered you to follow that half was because if the humans heard about what was going on, they could reinforce the city's protection, which would make things difficult for Cloche. But the situation's changed, right, Pingara? That's right. It looks like Cloche and the others have entered the city the moment Gandharva broke the closed space. See? We don't even need to take part in this fight anymore. It was a bit surprising to see Gandharva transform, but we have nothing to worry about anymore. Also, I noticed something during Pyro's read-through that was a correction of something that I've been misremembering this whole time. I thought that it was Ryagara who Marina had a past with and had been chasing in the past, but it was actually Pingara. So I was actually remembering that wrong, and that got cleared up for me. Let Gandharva and Agni or anyone else fight outside the city however they wish, idiots. Well, still, was it necessary to let the half go? Why did you want to eat it? No, that's not what I meant. I thought Sagara would say finish her for sure, so I was a bit surprised. I'm just asking to find out if Sagara has some other intention for it. Indeed, you're pretty sharp. Now we're seeing more of Agni. It's been a long time since being hit by this skill. What, Gantarva, are you weeping? You really are crying, huh? And we don't know if he's still out of it or not. Man, those tears are frozen. Want me to melt them for you? And right as he gets close to doing it, we have another eruption. Hey, save your strength. My priestess has quite an amount of vigor now, so... Then the tails of ice go in towards him. Gosh, I told you it's no use, Gantarva. Seems like you can't tell me anything, just like last time. And we're seeing, like, the crazy difference from the stuff we saw before, where Brilith was not having a great time with things. And of course, at the time, Brilith was going through some of the most kind of emotional anguish that she maybe has ever gone through, other than potentially losing her mother or whatever. So Brilith was really going through it, which would have affected her vigor. But we see the difference from that to now a kind of Agni that can use a lot of power and not really have to worry about it as much, going up against a nerfed Gantarva from being in the human realm. Even though he's showing a lot more power than like Sagara and some of the others thought he had, it's still a nerfed Gantarva up against like a stronger than what we saw before Agni, so the gap is just great here. I get it. So could you at least stop inflicting damage on the humans? As a god summoned on this planet, I'm responsible for their safety. If you continue acting so aggressively, I'm afraid there will be no choice left for me but to kill you, Gantarva. Yes, do it. In any case, I am... But you have your daughter, and your tribe who love you. You can't just give up on your life here, so... And then he attacks again. Burning more holes. Burning is an ironic choice of words through Agni. Well, I was wasting my time, huh? We see summons a sword and is releasing more heat. You know what? While the other gods were so eager searching on ways to kill you, I had found the way a long time ago. Very well. What good news. You should have killed me earlier. However, I kept it a secret, and tried to keep you alive by even distracting the other gods. Do you really think I did all that just to keep our rivalry going and to have a fair fight? Well, that's not it at all. The reason I kept you alive was solely because of Manaka. And now we have barely seen any of Manaka. Because of her, the merciless Gantarva had become benevolent just like his wife. I thought it'd be better to keep you as a king rather than having someone else, become the king after you die. That's something else that was mentioned way back in the past I Yearn For, where Sagara is like, no, it's actually really useful for Gantarva to be alive, because it's better to have Gantarva, who's in the human realm and severely nerfed, be king, than for Gantarva to die and Manaka with an A, or was it Maraka? It might be Maraka. Then to have him become king, or them become king, and then have a powerful king in the Shura realm, in comparison to what the Gantarva tribe is like now. And because of the way that works, I'm assuming then, because of emotional resonance, that when a king dies, the rest of the tribe can probably tell. Like, I would assume that because of emotional resonance, they would be able to tell if Gantarva died. And also, I guess that means that the emotional resonance would switch over from Gantarva to the new king. Although you were pure evil, I thought you would deserve an apology to repent and change yourself, unless they're just freed from emotional resonance, but I don't think that's how that works. And if a long period of time passes like that, I dreamt, maybe someday, we would even stand alongside, and we saw this before. Except before, this is interesting, because I think before, way back in, oh gosh, it was when they first interacted. It's not King and a Bum, is it? It's right after that. It's, gosh, I'm forgetting the name. Sorrow of Loss? I think it's Sorrow of Loss. It was Guntarva thinking this, where he's like, if only things could have been different, we could have stood alongside each other, but I've got to do what I've got to do. I got to find Shakuntala. And now we're seeing it from Agni's perspective. Funny, isn't it? You and me alongside? How funny for me to dream that, when you have no intention at all about such a thing. No, Agni, I also hope we have just smoke left behind. Man, very, very good. And this is another one of those things like with Lise and Asha last time, where things have gotten to the point where it'd be so much better, so much easier if we could just have Guntarva actually tell Agni what he feels too, and then the two of them make some sort of peace and start working together. But now, whether through pride or whether through it being like maybe Guntarva will stop himself because either pride or him potentially just wanting to die and just kind of giving up and falling into sorrow right now. Or Agni just it being too late where Agni's not paying attention at this point. He's just going in for the kill. Okay, well, before we continue, let's flip over so you can actually see this and check out the afterward. Okay, we have Par injured. The part where Huda caught Par didn't seem so important, so I only mentioned it in passing. It's not because I don't like Par. Today, Agni shows a really shocking side. The battle between the gods and the Shuras are really like this. From a human's point of view, one might think, how could I kill that? They have excellent healing capabilities, so the Sword of Return, which inhibits regenerative abilities, is a powerful factor. Then dark-haired Agni. Are you not used to it? I'm not used to it either. His personality is much more serious as well. I like the concept of dark-haired Agni. I'm really excited to see more moving into these next chapters. So let's move into these next chapters. Okay, 68 is starting with Vishnu, a flashback, I'm assuming. That's just the first word I saw. So I am extremely excited. I want to know so much more. We have Vishnu. How would things have been if I were not Guntarva? What? There's so many things to take care of as a king. I just want to live happily with Manaka, and we know that these two were friends. But everyone wants me to prioritize other things over her. I never wanted to become king. Why must I live such a complicated life? Only if I hadn't received the name Guntarva from the beginning. Then Manaka would have been the wife of Guntarva, which is not you. Strong power lets you gain so many things, but in contrary, it also makes you lose so much. There's no such name that lets you have everything, Guntarva. Your name makes you suffer as much as the power it holds, but it can also bring you enchanting love, fulfilling happiness, and even friendship that transcends race. This is so good. I got goosebumps reading this too. This is so good. It's such a good speech because I think that from all the things we've seen of Vishnu and the way that Vishnu disappeared, I think Vishnu is going to be huge through the background of the entire series. And this applies to the main character too, because with Lise, it's like, and with her being Kubera, it's like the name makes you suffer, but it can also bring you love and happiness and friendship. And I feel like though this speech is directed at Guntarva, it also applies to all of the other characters, but it's especially applicable, I think, to Lisa's story as the main character. Why not say it straightforward? My enchanting love is Manaka, fulfilling happiness is my soon-to-be-born child, and friendship that transcends race is you, right? Yeah, you can put it that way. Well, as long as my family and friends stay with me forever, I can bear with the inconveniences of being king. What can I do about it if all the good things and the bad things come with having this name? I'm sorry to say this, Guntarva, but nothing lasts forever. Everything is only a possibility. What you gain and what you lose all depends on how you make up your mind. There you throw riddles again. Put it in an easier form, will you? Did you see this future of mine as well? My wife, my daughter, my friends, having none of them left by my side. My future where I have no reason to live on. Frozen Tears 11. God, that was like one of the best scenes in the entire series so far. The scene with Asha and Lise was great last time. I always think back to the Sorrow of Loss scene with Gandharva and Agni is one of my favorites. But geez, I think the second meeting between Kubera and Lise is also one of my favorites. There's a lot that I haven't really thought about this topic a lot, so there's probably a bunch that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my head. But geez, that is one of the best scenes in the series for me so far. Gandharva, wake up. Get hold of yourself. What? Wasn't he about to kill me? Why am I still, or what am I still... I know that you were not able to say anything because you have somebody watching you like last time, right? If so, you can talk now. The transcendental skill, Fathomless Fire. We're inside a fire that's bottomless. Even if the one who's watching over you has power over all the ground, he can't intervene in this space. Which again is kind of hinting toward Kubera, because power over all the ground, Kubera is the earth god. Along with me, screaming to kill you out loud, no one would even imagine that we're talking down here. If you refuse even this last opportunity, I can't go easy on you anymore. So unless you want to fall eternally in here, tell me what's going on before my patience runs out. Why? Why are you being so merciful to me? I've become so weak that even if we side together, I wouldn't be of any help to you. Seriously, just say what's happening. Are you a mute or a Rakshasa? Why can't you talk to me? Sorry. I've become so impatient in this state, I need to get used to it. Anyhow, we shouldn't waste so much time here, even if my priestess still has enough vigor. If I tell him, will anything change? It's not like the dead can come back. I really think he needs to talk here, though. I've been struggling for so long, for such small hope. I just want to take a rest now. Hey, I said get a hold of yourself, Punch. Hey, Gandharva, I've seen countless guys like you. The guys who don't want to live and the other guys who have no reason to live. Their eyes all look exactly like how yours look now. Seemed like something happened to your daughter when she was the only one you've been holding on to. But to run away for such reasons, don't you think the sins you've committed until now are too heavy? So many planets, including Gresvan, have vanished because of you. And to think of all those humans that died because of you, do you not feel guilty at all? Not for even one of them? And we see Teo. I'm glad to see that you do feel responsible, for something at least. Do you know why a Gnostica doesn't have an afterlife and just vanish after they die? Never mind. You should live on for the sake of the humans who died, and find something you can do while you're still alive. There's no rules saying Gnostica shouldn't help humans, right? So... What? She still has plenty of vigor left. Then why? Oh. This. Somebody is messing with things and keeping them from talking. This was a really good way to end this. Usually a miscommunication or a cutoff in communication is really crappy in writing. I mean, it's not that it's bad writing, but it's really frustrating for a reader to have like Gandharva just be too proud or lost in himself to say anything, or have Agni be too impatient to listen. But I absolutely love that Kurigam wrote it this way. I love that Gandharva wasn't too, like, Gandharva's going through a lot emotionally, but despite going through a lot emotionally, Gandharva's not too self-absorbed or proud to say anything. And also, Agni isn't too, again, selfish or impulsive to not give Gandharva a chance to speak, to not listen to him. But they're in, like, it makes Gandharva not seem like a crap character. It makes Agni not seem like a crap character. In fact, like, I think the writing of both is elevated a ton. Plus, it adds in this mystery of who is messing with Brilith, what's going on here. So that's like really, all of that's really, really, really good. But Agni has to get out of there. So now, what does Gandharva do? After all this ocean has been... we got beachside property. Then immediately it's all evaporated. Now that this ocean is evaporated, what does Gandharva do? You even give me a chance in a situation like this. How big is your heart to do something like that? I can't even compare myself to you. Perhaps if I stand on the side of humans, would it be okay to walk with you? Would it be okay to have a new reason to live? So we went from potential heel turn to potential face turn Gandharva. The Shura disappeared as the water evaporated. Does that mean he's in human form now? Probably. And then this could be bad, because what if he immediately is like, okay, I messed up, let me side with the humans, and immediately the humans try to kill him. Maybe he's hiding somewhere away from Agni. But how can we recognize a Gnostica in human form? Tell us as soon as you see the ones that attacked Teo and abducted you. Okay, but they were all in human form, so the Shura that attacked the city must not be one of them. I hope Teo is safe and well. To be continued. Okay. Extremely good chapter. I think that is one of the best chapters in the series so far. That's incredibly, incredibly good. Easily one of my favorites so far. So with that aside, let's check out the afterword for it. Afterword this week says, hasn't it been a long time since Gandharva was shown with long hair? Sometimes when a post under Kubera settings in the main blog isn't visible, it's because I added some content which appears in the next episode and set it to private. It's too late to post it after the webtoons gets updated, so I add it in advance. And then both of them like to go barefoot about Gandharva and Vishnu. Agni never gets mad. Even if you hit him repeatedly, he's patient Kim, generous Kim, wise Kim, punching bag Kim. Even so, in Season 2, Episode 67, Agni's acting skills seem to be exceptional enough for him to receive the most negative feedback in the history of his appearances. It's okay. Agni would laugh if he could see the comments. Then, the chapter Frozen Tears will soon be over. This is the second longest in Season 2, the third longest was Rift. If you like Gandharva, you'll get to see him a lot, or you get to see him a lot this chapter. It's not often when he appears this much. Okay, extremely good chapter. But with that aside, we're halfway through, go to, what are we at? Episode 69. We've got Season 2, Episode 69, the penultimate chapter of Frozen Tears, and it starts with, this is one of our new candles. Oh, it's probably going to be how Agni travels. This is one of our new candles. It's supposed to get rid of drowsiness. Come closer, take a whiff. It's quite strong, and then the fire erupts. Jeez. Can't believe the closest fire to Brilith is just this. But what happened to all the fire that should be in the temple? Whoever it is put it all out. Also, I forget they mentioned, again, going through and going through old stuff. They mentioned that the god of darkness, which would be Chandra, that Chandra did something like wiping out a bunch of Shura or something like that in the past. So, is that possible? Because whoever it is, the hand was dark and stuff, and I don't feel like anyone we know of, I don't feel like that was God Kubera's hand, because it looks too dainty where he has meteor paws, so to speak. It looked more slender, it was fully black, so it's could it be Chandra? Is Kali still alive? Is Kali getting involved somehow? Again, just throwing names out. Hey, I think I see someone over there. We have Par. Is that a person? Just a minute ago, that place was filled with water and Shuras were jumping all over the place. Seems awfully suspicious that he's walking through there alone. Then just fire at him from here and get rid of him. What do you mean? We have to check first. What if he's just an innocent person? Par, do you know who that is? Do you know who that is? Was there anyone like that in the gang that kidnapped you? That person. He's the one Teo vouched for. She said that since he didn't get caught at the checkpoint, if he's not pure blood, then he must be a quarter. They left together to go look for Elwyn, but for some reason he kept trying to keep Teo out of the closed space. She said he had memory loss or something, and there was something kind of sketchy about him. There's a chance that he may have been part of the gang that kidnapped you. Alright then, I'll just go for the headshot from here. Don't be so hasty. So I guess she ran around, Par ran off and was chased by Huda before Gandharva's identity was revealed. Alright then, I'll just go for the headshot from here. Don't be so hasty. He could just be an ordinary person, you know. Plus, he may know where Teo is. You're right. Right now that guy is our only clue for finding Teo. I really think it would be cool if Gintarva works with them now. Especially since Cloche and Clope have already infiltrated, it seems, and we still have that threat going on. Then he's our only clue to finding Teo since he was the last person who was with her. For now, let's go and check. If you don't want to, then I'll go by myself. I'll go with you. Me too. Why don't we all just go together? Whether he's on the same side as those creeps or not, judging from the fact he tried to keep Teo out of the close space, he's clearly not strong enough to kill Teo himself. And I feel sorry for this guy, because this guy is one of the most noticeable halves so far, so he probably gets a lot of shit. That's true. He wouldn't be able to do anything against us with our God-class items. So, are we all going down there? Par, you don't have a God-class item right now, so stay here. If any other sorcerers come from behind, tell them what's going on. Hang in there, Par. I'm sure that Teo's still alive. Yeah, thanks. Now, they're approaching. Stop right there. I advise you not to make any sudden movements. We're all holding God-class items. Whose side are you on? Are you with those men who attacked Teo? And there's a lot more. I thought there were only like 4 of them. No, I'm not on the same side as them. See, I told you, you almost killed an innocent person. Then what happened to Teo? We heard that you were the last person with her. Well, please, any clues would help us. We have to find Teo. Looks like we'll have to break his arms and legs to get him to talk. Again, you probably get a lot of shit from looking so openly half. You could at least have a nice personality, my guy. I told you not to do anything hasty. If you keep this up, I won't be able to And is this red-haired person the same one that we saw earlier in the temple? I don't remember. What on earth? Splat. Then they scream, "You little..." No, it wasn't me. And then something's tearing them apart. And they're all just left in puddles of blood. Are you alright, Gintarva? We see somebody stepping out. How dare those losers raise their weapons in front of you? Marna, you're fucking it up! Anyway, I'm relieved that you returned safely. And this is, of course, something with Marna, where he is absolutely brutal and ruthless towards humans, but one of the softest characters we've seen towards halves and lesser Shura. I thought there was some kind of problem when you suddenly morphed into a Shura. I couldn't get near you because of Agni, but thankfully it looks like he just headed for Atera. Right now Calibloom's undefended. I'll let Sagara handle the rest, so we can get out of here. There's no need for you to stay here. Gintarva? I thought that we could be on the same side, but I'm too filthy to be with you. And we have all the blood. I'm too filthy to be by your side. He's crying. Man, Gintarva's such a good character here. That jerk. I knew it, he was one of them. He took Teo. And we have Par, again, only seeing the people being slaughtered. Par, try to calm yourself. We'd get slaughtered if we jump into battle right now. If even one of us leaves the protective field of Hoti Chandra magic, we may all die. Oh, and they're under Hoti Chandra, so even Marna is not going to be able to sense them. It's my fault. I just blurted out that he may be a clue. I should have at least waited until you got back, Asha. Well, as long as that red man is here, it would be hard for the sorcerers here, including me, to win, even if we all attack. For now, we'll keep the Hoti Chandra spell going, retreat inside the city, and defend the land's closed space. And I think that might be a mistranslation of the Earth closed space. What? You want us to go back? Just because of those two? I can't go, that jerk killed my friend. We can just all attack before they find us. It's not like they're in their Shura forms. Don't do anything foolish. He's not an opponent to take lightly. But what if he turns into a Shura while we're retreating to the city? It's best to kill Shuras before they transform. What gives you the right to order us around, Asha? And we're seeing Lee's. And this dark energy coming from the Golden Knight. To be continued. Another really great chapter. It's just now I'm heartbroken. I thought that there was finally going to be this sparkle of hope for Gintarva, and then Marina fucks it up. Like, I was gonna say you can't blame him too much, but you kind of can. You kind of can blame him for jumping the gun extremely there. Marina kind of fucked this up. Ugh, it's so frustrating. It's so sad because we finally had some bit of hope for Gintarva, and then it's just gone. Like the slight little rope he could have pulled himself out of depression with, cut right in front of his eyes. Yeah, that is rough. So let's go check out the afterword. The afterword this time is this scene was in Season 2 prologue, so I reversed the direction and drew it again. It's no fun if it's the same. The fragrant candles are the kind that wake you up, right? Aren't they? Or wake you right up, aren't they? I usually draw the extras with eyes, but there were so many extra characters in this episode that I didn't draw their eyes because they look like faceless egg ghosts, so I added them. The transcendental skill Marina uses is Crimson Burst. Now we see what would have happened to Lise if Asha wasn't there in episode 3. And it's been a long time since Asha wore her Hunter's Eyes times 50. In this episode, there's a character who wears Hunter's Eyes times 20 near the beginning. It's an item that lets you see further, but there are side effects. Okay, and that's all. Alright, let's go to the last chapter of Frozen Tears. And now I'm just super depressed. I know that Naya, everybody says that Naya calls Gintarva stupid fish or whatever, but it's Marina. Marina's a stupid bird. He's Birdbrain. I am just so upset. I am so bummed out now. Okay. Well, we have Agni getting back to the temple. Agni, where's the priestess? She's asleep. Has no one entered, and no one else has entered the room? No, aside from Agwin visiting a moment ago. Huh? Wait, why are all the candles out? And these pills? Those are sleeping pills. I tried to stop her from taking them since they're never good for her, but Rilith insisted that she had to sleep right away. I'll look after her, so go and check the other flames in the temple. So whoever it was, like again, it seems like they were just trying to draw him away, like, by putting out the fires and then threatening, but not actually hurting Brilith. It takes Agni away from Gintarva and means that he can't just immediately teleport, make sure Brilith's alright, and then teleport back. He has to teleport, then travel to Brilith, and now see that she's fine, and now he would have to travel back at this point. So it just was made to waste his time, it seems like. Get him away from there and waste his time long enough. I'll look after her, so go and check the other flames in the temple. Okay, sir. She could have been killed. It was the perfect opportunity to kill Brilith, but she just walked away. So whoever it was is being called a she here. Is this a threat? Telling me to stand by her side and never leave the city? Was I interfering too much? And of course he was like, oh, even if, he's like, when we're in this pit, even if they can control or see or monitor through all the earth, then they can't do anything while we're here, but they could always draw him out by doing something somewhere else, because it's not like, at least from what we know, it's not like he can be in two places at once. And then, there must be more of them aside from Gintarva. There's not much I can do, aside from hoping that Cossack gets here and takes care of the rest. Or gets there, I'm assuming he means. You mean Calibloom? It's a bit far to just fly there, and it only takes around 30 minutes if you use Transcendental Skill Crescent Gate. Okay, so we might have Cossack coming in to save the day once again. Wait, hasn't 30 minutes already gone by a while ago? And look, that is a crazy line too. Hold on, I just got goosebumps again. Kubera is so freaking good. So if Cossack hasn't gotten there, he might have gotten interrupted by somebody, and we could get something else that's cool. Chapter 70, Frozen Tears, Part 13. Final part of Frozen Tears. Where should I go now? Is there even a place for me left in this world? What do you mean, Gintarva? I don't know what Sagara said to make you feel that way, but I'm still on your side, so please don't say that. What if he and I become enemies? You told me once before, if he and I become enemies, that I would become your enemy too. I know, but there's no reason for you to become enemies with him now. If you become enemies with him right now, we won't be able to open the door to the Shura's world, and we wouldn't be able to meet Shakuntala. Shakuntala's dead. Marna, you knew, right? I can't really say for sure, it's just all the evidence seemed to tell us she might be dead. Plus, every time I tried to tell you about the possibility, you stopped me each time. Looks like everyone knew except me. Or did I know it too? And he breaks down into laughing. No, this is the king, whose only reason for living was Shakuntala. If I leave him like this, I have to keep him going somehow. Gandharva, there are still some of the Gandharva clan who worship you as a king, your clan which Shakuntala cared for and loved so much. I understand that you don't want to follow him and Sagara anymore, but this is the human world and not Shura's. If you turn your back on them, it'll be hard to survive on your own. It's interesting that they keep using him to refer to, like we obviously know, it's like Kubera, right? But maybe the reason that they say him instead of saying his name, because they're saying like Sagara's name, but maybe they say him because using his name would be, bad. Maybe if they use his name, that continues to give him more power, or would let him continue to monitor them or get his attention. So maybe they specifically refrain from using Kubera's name in order to stay away from his prying eyes as much as possible, maybe. And it could even be like a superstition kind of thing, even. So even if it's just until you return to the Shura world, it'd be better if you were on their side. No, even still I won't go back to them. But Marna, I don't want to be your enemy. Where to then? Here, take these. What are they? They're gloves. I bought them because I thought they'd suit you. And I just thought it'd be a waste to throw them away now. Man, I actually really like Gandharva. Gloves? You mean they were made by humans? That's right. Still, Gandharva, how could you give me something that was merely made by humans? And then we see this flash of transcendental energy. Gandharva? And we have 2 attacks coming in. And a smoldering crater left. They probably still haven't figured out our position, right? It's okay. All 5 of us are using Hoti Chandra. And in his attack form, he wouldn't have been able to track us here. If anyone's Hoti Chandra runs out, recast it right away. If all 5 of us run out, we're all dead. Anyway, that red one's still unharmed. What a beast. Still, seems like we killed the green-haired one. He disappeared without a trace. I doubt he managed to escape. Like I said, we should retreat for now, so why... Look, Asha, are you a priestess or a double A? You're nothing. Jeez. Asha is finally receiving a fraction of what she dishes out. Oh my god. Not to mention, you're way younger than us. Plus, you were just a 5-year-old kid when things were at their worst. We've had to face the great upheaval head on. We have a lot more experience with upper-level Shuras than you do. So, I wonder if this is going to be... I doubt Gandharva's actually going to be dead because it feels very unceremonious, but this could be the kind of thing where he uses this as an excuse to just vanish and live his own away from all of this drama that's going on for a while. Maybe try to get his head straight. Maybe he disguises himself as a human and just tries to do what he was doing in Calibloom and just live as a normal human without the other Shuras around and... maybe try to live his life that way for a little while. Help by just trying to be humble, in a way. Maybe that's what we'll get from him. Him just disappearing so that he doesn't have to be an enemy of Marna. Maybe that's what we're getting at here. It's still not too late, so we should all return to the city. If we don't secure the defense field of this Earth, the defense field of this Earth somehow. Again, I am assuming they mean the Earth-closed space. Everyone here will die. Do you think we don't know that? If that guy's a powerful Shura, then we definitely can't give him a chance to return to his Shura form. Don't just stand there pointing out the obvious and attack already. Looks like you don't get it. Lise, don't get caught up in this. We have to get out of here now. Why? Why did I come all the way here? I found the Sword of Return, and the enemy's right in front of us. This is my chance to get revenge, Asha. I understand how you feel, but not right now. Again, Lise isn't ready, and she could once again be throwing herself into mortal danger, where Asha is trying to keep her alive to get her revenge later. First of all, you left the Sword of Return back there, so all I have to do is bring it here, but you can't just run off on your own. And then she has it. I should change my glasses or something. We have Claude. I can hear something rumbling, but I can't see what's going on. Well, is our side winning? Are we winning, son? And we have Yuta. Which side is ours? Frozen Tears end. Next chapter, the person standing before me, which is probably going to mean multiple different things, but I think that Lise now with sword in hand is going to confront Marina, which means the person standing before me is probably going to be in reference to the person with the god's name standing before Marina, but also the person who destroyed her village, her life, everything she knew, her family, before Lise. And probably going to be more things than just that. To be continued. Okay. Really, really incredible set of 4 chapters. Really incredible arc. One of the best so far. I am smiling through the depression. Let's go check out the afterword. The afterword for this one, text not translated, it's like feeling the healing hands of your mom, Agni and Brilith. And then Gandharva and Marina. Gandharva carried those gloves all this time, but it seems Marina finds them disgusting. It'd be good if he doesn't throw them away. The Sword of Return is not always black. And then, of course, because it had the red vein-like markings. With this, the second longest chapter in Season 2 is over. The attack on Calibloom isn't over yet, so why'd the chapter end? Let's just call them the first half and second half. It's because the characters in each chapter are different, that's why. This one focused a lot on Agni and Gandharva, and I feel like the next is going to focus maybe on Marina and Lise, and then Yuta might get involved, and man, I feel like we're just getting into more depression. I don't want to feel I love all these characters, from both sides. I love all the characters. I don't need more sadness. Either way, I'll end things here for this week. Thank you for watching. If you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of these 4 chapters, my thoughts and reaction. They were some of the best in the entire series, though. Absolutely incredible writing. Like, comment, subscribe for more Kubera, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's always appreciated. But if you would like to help support the channel and also get your name at the end of videos, I need to update this. I don't think there are any new names, but I need to update the crowns. So yeah, if you want to help support the channel by becoming a channel member, then hit join down below to become a channel member. If you want to become a patron by going to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, their link will be in the description. You can become a patron that way. Thank you to people who are already patrons and channel members, already supporting the channel, helping it keep going. Thank you to Chosen Regular Evan Hawley, Magical Girls, FR Nono, Abyss Knight, JA, and TD Band, Cheriton Students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Element, Pate Ariel. And I always wonder, now that B-Stars is over, should I change Cheriton Students to something else? And I have 3. I have Slayer Candidate, Irregular, and Chosen Regular from Tower of God, and then I have Magical Girls and Pure Elements from MGRP, which I have been slacking on and have probably gone months without making a video. So I feel horrible for MGRP fans. I really need to get my stuff together there. But it's should I have ORV or Kubera references? Should I have I could have made this, if I was a Kubera only channel, I could have made this the ranks of Shura or something. Or I could add in for ORV incarnations or constellations. So yeah, should I add references to that in here at all? But then I'm do people like what their titles are now? Do I want to get rid of their titles? I don't know if I want to get rid of their titles. But either way, thank you so much for thank you for watching, for your support, and I'll see you all next time.